Light is an upbeat teenage boy who's always wanted to become a successful adventurer. His dream is simple: earn enough money to give his family a comfortable, luxurious life. So he leaves his tiny village behind and heads to the big city to sign up as an adventurer. But things aren't going to be easy for him at all. In this world, a god has created 9 different races, and unfortunately, humans are seen as the absolute lowest of them all. Because of this, humans face constant racism and discrimination. Light gets a taste of this the second he arrives in the city. A Beastman adventurer rudely orders him to get out of the way. Even though Light wasn't actually blocking the road, Light can only apologize meekly. Eventually, Light makes it to the Adventurers Guild and registers himself. The receptionist explains that all newcomers start at F rank. She asks if he has any special gift that might affect his evaluation. Light excitedly says yes. His gift is called Unlimited Gacha, which lets him pull random items from thin air. But explaining isn't enough. So Light decides to show her how it works. He summons his gacha device and activates it right away. The machine spits out a fork card, and when Light releases it, an actual fork appears on the table. The problem is, the fork is completely bent and useless. Light panics and tries again several times, hoping for better results. Instead, he pulls out a rotten apple and some moldy bread. The receptionist is now completely convinced this guy is a total loser who deserves nothing better than F rank. Light accepts the rank without complaint and asks if there are any jobs available right away. The receptionist points him toward a bulletin board where easy jobs are posted. But Light looks nervous just staring at it. That's when the receptionist realizes something. Light can't even read. Being illiterate isn't surprising though, since humans in this world have very low literacy rates. She tells him he can do basic labor like carrying rocks or collecting wood, but those jobs pay much less than others. Light accepts anyway, and after working his butt off all day, he finally earns enough money to rent a room. He still has to depend on his gacha skill for food, but he's optimistic that he can make things work. However, a gang of beastmen has other plans. They deliberately stand in his path, so Light bumps into them. Their leader immediately starts yelling at Light, accusing him of dirtying his clothes. Before Light can react, they snatch his money pouch. Light begs him to give it back, because without that money, he won't have anywhere to sleep. But the wolf leader just punches him hard, knocking him into a puddle of mud, and says Light needs to pay for his laundry. The beastmen walk away, leaving Light lying in the mud. People passing by tell him to go sleep in the filthy slums where the other humans belong. Light feels completely hopeless at this moment, but then suddenly, someone reaches out a hand to help him up. He instinctively grabbed the hand of the beautiful elf standing before him, but realizes a second later that his own hand is covered in mud. Light quickly pulls away, apologizing for getting her hand dirty, but she tells him it's okay and promises she won't hurt him. Years of experiencing racism and discrimination make it hard for Light to believe her. To prove she means it, the elf woman actually kneels down and hugs him. Light is speechless. Even as people on the street mock the elf for lowering herself for the sake of a human, she helps Light back to his feet. Behind the elf, there's a group of people from different races. They introduce themselves as a party called Concord of Tribes. They explain they're a party with one member from each species the god has created, and they've been missing a human member. The beastman Garu introduces himself first, followed by the elf woman Sasha, who tells Light about the rest of their crew. There's Drago the Dragonida, the demon Diablo, the Oni Abro, the dark elf, the dwarf Nano, and the centaur named Sander. Garu says they were specifically looking for a human to complete their party. Then Shaun adds that they created this party to end racism and build a world where everyone gets treated equally. Light finds this too good to be true, but he can't pass up such an amazing sounding opportunity. He happily joins the Concord of Tribes. Soon they start going on adventures together, and Light quickly becomes the weakest member of the team. He needs to be rescued from monsters by Drago and Sasha, who tell him to be more careful since one hit from these creatures could kill him. Light apologizes for being careless, but Sasha starts checking him for injuries while telling him to always stay behind them. The rest of the party teases Sasha because she's obviously obsessed with Light and cares about him way too much. She blushes bright red and insists she only sees him as a party member. Light feels useless because all he can do is carry the luggage, but Drago tells him he makes really delicious tea, and that's good enough for him. Light feels genuinely happy hearing this, and cheerfully follows the team deeper into the dungeon. Soon they reach an open space with only one way in and out. The party members exchange glances before deciding this is the perfect spot for their plan. Not knowing what's about to happen, Light starts preparing to make tea for everyone. That's when Drago walks up to him and tells him he's being fired from the party. Light can't even process what he just heard. He asks what he did wrong to get kicked out. The beast man Garu coldly tells him he's being fired because he doesn't actually do anything useful. Everyone starts telling Light how useless and stupid he is. Even Sasha acts disgusted by him. The rest of the party starts hurling insults at Light and the entire human race. Light thinks this must be some kind of cruel prank, but they tell him nobody has time to play pranks on worthless trash like him. He asks why they've been so nice to him until now if they felt this way. They simply say it was all an act. Drago explains that their superiors noticed his gift Unlimited Gacha and thought he might be something called a maestro. That's why they ordered the Concord of Tribes to keep a close watch on him. But once they determined that Light's gift was worthless and he couldn't possibly be a maestro, they got the signal to get rid of him. Sasha says she's the most relieved they don't have to keep Light around anymore, because if he actually was a maestro, she would have been forced to marry him. Just the thought of that disgusts her. Light doesn't even understand what the word maestro means. Drago says they've told him more than enough and need to finish him off before other adventurers show up. Garu immediately copies Wolverine and draws his metal claws, using them to slash Light's face. Only now does Light truly realize he's in deep trouble and there's no way out. In complete desperation, he runs away as fast as he can. The racist traitors laugh at him, saying they won't let him escape. Sasha shoots an arrow straight through his leg. As Light falls to the ground screaming in pain, the racist elves say that hearing human screams is like beautiful music to their ears. Garu decides to make Light scream even more and starts beating him viciously. But Drago tells him to stop because they need to make it look like the human died from a monster attack. Garu follows orders and gets ready to finish him off. But Light crawls forward desperately, clinging to life with everything he has. Suddenly, the ground beneath him starts glowing. Light realizes he's in the middle of a teleportation circle. Drago notices it too and orders Garu to kill him quickly. But before Garu can reach Light, the teleportation circle activates and takes him away. However, Light's situation doesn't get much better. Even though he escaped those backstabbing traitors, the teleportation trap takes him to a random location deep in the dungeon. He knows the moment a monster finds him, he's dead. He starts thinking about his family and wondering what he did to deserve being betrayed like this. He remembers how nice everyone treated him before they decided to stab him in the back. He now understands that their kind behavior was just an act to make him completely trust them, and they showed their true evil nature at the end. He's filled with pure rage and uses that anger as motivation to survive. He forces himself to stand up, swearing he'll get revenge on those bastards and tear them apart with his own hands. But before he can curse them out more, Light hears a low growl coming from behind him. He turns around to find a level 1000 monster staring right at him. He completely freaks out seeing this creature because it's something straight out of a nightmare. Light realizes he was teleported to the deepest floor of the dungeon, and honestly, he had better chances of surviving his former party than this monster. As he wonders how he could possibly fight this thing, his thoughts turn to his gift, Unlimited Gacha. He decides to take his chances with it. He starts pressing the Gacha button over and over again. Then suddenly, his ordinary gift transforms into something beyond his wildest dreams. A giant magic circle appears below him, and the Gacha device starts powering up massively. Light doesn't understand what's happening, but just as the monster leaps at him, the Gacha roll finishes. A level 9999 maidservant appears from it and completely destroys the monster in an instant. Everything is over before Light can even blink. Then the incredibly powerful maid starts walking toward him. She kneels before him and immediately heals his wounds. She tells him she couldn't bear to see his silky smooth skin being injured, so she healed him without asking permission first. Light can't believe he's perfectly fine now. The maid then asked for his name. He introduces himself as Light, which makes the maid really happy. She pledges by the maid's code of honor, swearing to serve him until death. Light tells her that's cool and all, but she should at least tell him her name first. The girl introduces herself as May, the ever-seeking maid. She explains that she came from a super ultra rare card in his Unlimited Gacha. Light refuses to believe that a level 9999 May would come from a supposedly worthless gift, but May asks permission to use her appraisal skill on his gift to read the fine details. He immediately gives her permission. May uses her skill and discovers that his abilities are hidden under extremely strong concealment magic. Anyone below her level can't even see them. She tells Light that his Unlimited Gacha is way more useful than he thinks. The cards it produces heavily depend on the mana density of his location. And as it turns out, there's another rarity class that's even beyond May's super ultra rarity. May explains that the mana density on the surface is really poor, but deep in the dungeon, the air is filled with mana. This allowed him to summon her. She praises Light's bravery for coming to the depths of the dungeon alone to unlock the full potential of his gift. Light tells her he's actually just a loser who couldn't even get near the dungeon on his own. He starts crying as he tells her how his party betrayed him. He starts complaining about how they promised they wanted to create a discrimination-free world just to trick him, then showed their true evil selves. He swears he'll get revenge on them. May suddenly hugs him and says that even though she can't fully understand what he's been through, she'll do whatever he wants. She says destroying the people who hurt him won't be difficult for her at all. However, Light tells her she can't do it. And it's not because he's kind-hearted. He just wants to get revenge with his own hands. But that's not possible right now because he's too weak. He swears he'll make all of them suffer before killing them. May kneels before him again and tells him that if he wants to grow strong enough to get revenge, she'll help him with that. She says she believes his potential, and Light can only thank her. However, he's not satisfied with just one overpowered member in his group. He decides to use the mana-rich environment of the dungeon even more. He uses his Unlimited Gacha again, summoning more high-class maids, so he can create a kingdom that will serve as a base for his grand revenge. 3 years pass since that life-changing day. Now Light rules over hundreds of maids inside a palace he built for himself. May is always by his side, just as she promised the day they met. All the maids seem totally devoted to him, cheering whenever he notices them. May tells them all to behave properly as Light leaves the castle and heads toward the local market. Everyone there recognizes him. One of the vendors calls him over for breakfast, while others tell him about a shortage of snack foods in the country. Light promises to deal with the problem soon. May tells him not to worry about such small tasks, since she'll make sure the logistic problem gets fixed as soon as possible. Light realizes he'll need to create a new system for handling logistics, since the population of this place has increased massively over the last 3 years. He asks May where the rest of his legendary summons are. May replies that Yuki the Beast Tamer is busy creating maps of the area near the dungeons and scouting the forests for any trouble. Light thinks about all the monsters roaming around in the forest, but knows they wouldn't be any threat to a genius beast tamer like her. May continues by saying that Ellie the mage is working hard trying to create special magic according to his grand plan. Light wonders if Ellie will be able to handle this, since there are so many complexities in the magic spells he asked her to create. Light asks about Naz the Vampire Knight, who's excellent at close combat, but a bit dumb in other areas. May replies that she gave Naz a job of patrolling the castle grounds, since that would keep her from using her empty brain and getting into trouble. Light doesn't mind her though, since she makes things more interesting around the castle. Soon they return to the castle, where Light gets called by Jack, the last of his 4 legendary summons. Jack asks if Light is ready for some training. May seems a bit annoyed and tells Jack he should address Light by his proper title, which is Master. But Light tells May it's fine since he considers Jack to be like an older brother. He says he'll go to his training session with Jack now. Inside the training ground, they both get ready to spar. With a burst of speed, Light rushes toward his summon and punches him straight in his rock-hard abs, pushing him back with surprising strength. Jack seems pleased with Light's power, saying that any normal adventurer would have died from getting punched like that, but he can take it since he's built like a tank and can absorb a crazy amount of damage. They meet in the middle of the ground once again, with punches colliding before they back off. Light follows up a series of rapid strikes, which Jack dodges. Meanwhile, Naz is still patrolling the corridors, bouncing along with her empty little head when some other maids greet her. They start sweet-talking her, saying they all feel safe since Naz is always patrolling and making sure there's no danger lurking around. Naz becomes super happy, which is exactly what the maids wanted. They decide to play a prank on her and suggest she should go make sure Light's bedroom is secure and nothing suspicious is going on there. Naz thinks this is a great idea and heads toward the bedroom. But when she tries to open the door, May emerges from inside. Naz asks May what she was doing in Light's bedroom, since he should be away training right now. May immediately starts blushing and claims she was just trying to clean the room while he was away. Naz tells her she needs to check the room for any danger. Before May can stop her, Naz enters the room and notices the bed is all messy and wrinkled. She innocently says it looks like someone was on the bed sniffing the pillows and rolling around. She asks May if she made it look like that on purpose. May decides to use Naz's dumb brain to her advantage and confidently claims it's her special bed-making style. Naz gets impressed and asks if she can learn how to do that too. But May refuses, saying it's a special trade secret she can't reveal yet. With that, Naz remembers the maids wanted her to give May their message. She takes out a piece of paper and gives it to May, who realizes the other maids are revolting against her for hogging Light's bedroom and never letting them clean it for a change. May tells Naz not to worry about it, since she'll deal with the maids herself. She even gives Naz some spare change to keep her mouth shut, which Naz happily takes before walking off. Naz immediately heads out to the market and starts looking at all the food items she can buy with the money. She finally decides to try the fluffy pancakes, along with some fresh milk. With that, she happily marches back to the castle, where she finds Yuki sitting on a balcony. She asks Yuki if her work in the forest is done. Tired of Naz's nonsense, Yuki shows her she's already created the map May wanted and came back to deliver it. Naz congratulates her and returns to her patrol duty before entering the throne room. Once inside the fancy area, she starts screaming her heart out since there's nobody around to stop her. After that, she jumps on the throne itself and starts messing with it. She accidentally breaks one of the wings off an angel statue. Scared of May's reaction, she immediately puts it back carelessly and runs her life straight out of the throne room. Back in the training ground, Light and Jack continue clashing. Jack suggests they be done for the day and hit the baths. They soon move to the bathroom, and once inside the giant bathtub, Jack praises Light for learning all the skills so quickly. He says Light is strong enough that most creatures in the dungeons will be child's play for him, which means very few can challenge him on the surface. But he warns that there are still some who will want to completely destroy him the first chance they get. Light gets serious as he thinks about the betrayal he faced 3 years ago. He says he won't be satisfied until he gets his revenge. Back in May's chambers, she calls in 4 troublesome maids and asks what the hell their problem is as she reads their letter back to them. Once in front of May herself, the 4 maids are completely silent since they don't know what to say. They apologize, claiming it was just their way of showing support since they know May is overworked. May tells them not to worry about her work and focus on their own. She denies their request to clean Light's chamber and instead punishes them by ordering them to clean the hallway leading to the throne room by hand. The maids are surprised, saying the hallway is way too long. But May tells them to keep at it, since it'll keep them busy while she's out with Light on a mission. Back outside, Naz is stuck to a shop window, eyeing a gauntlet she wants to buy but has no money for. While there, she bumps into Ellie, who asks what Naz is staring at. Naz points at the gauntlet before asking Ellie why she's back so soon since she's supposed to be overseeing the new construction. Ellie replies that construction is going smoothly, so she decided to sneak in a break. They soon start bickering about who's closer to Light and who's more important. Ellie tells Naz that she's directly involved in the revenge plan Light is creating. Unlike Naz, Ellie also mentions she recently had a lovely evening where she shared a cup of tea with Light and discussed their progress. She says next time they meet, she'll set up a private dinner. Naz says she also wants to have tea with the master before telling Ellie that she's the best at close combat, so if she ever needs help, she can ask her. Ellie smiles and says she'll definitely take her up on that someday. With that, Naz returns to her brainless duty. Back in the castle, the four maids are busy plotting against May, saying May is like an angry dictator, wondering if they should go behind her back and tell Light about her behavior. But they think better of it, since none of them want to face her anger. One of them realizes Light cares about May so much because she was his very first summon. The purple-haired one mentions it took Light 2 more months to finally summon Yuki, which means Light and May were all alone together in the dungeons for 2 whole months. They get incredibly jealous and start rolling around on the floor, doing weird things out of jealousy before deciding to do some voodoo magic. They sit at the table and chant for May to die so she can be removed from the picture. Unfortunately for them, May overhears all this and enters their room, cornering them once again. The maids immediately start apologizing, claiming they were just a little jealous and never meant anything they said. May tells them to stop fantasizing about weird things. During those months between her being summoned and Yuki being summoned, Light was busy learning everything he could about magic and practicing every martial art he could try, so they never had time to do anything else. This relieves the maids a bit. May says she came back here because she felt she'd been too hard on the maids. But now she realizes she apparently wasn't hard enough, so she tells them to clean the throne room as well. Completely at May's mercy, the maids have no choice but to follow her orders. They clean the entire throne room while deciding to keep their mouths shut this time to avoid getting in more trouble. But while dusting the throne, the green-haired idiot accidentally knocks off the piece of angel wing that Naz broke. The piece falls to the floor, and the maids get horrified, thinking it was their fault and wondering what May will do to them. The next morning, Light enters the dungeon only to find Naz, Ellie, and Yuki already waiting for him. He wishes them good morning, while Naz and Ellie immediately start bickering. Suddenly, though, a monster emerges from the shadows. Light freezes as he realizes it's a hellhound. He knows he's much stronger than before, but the trauma from that day still haunts him. His blood runs cold every time he sees this type of beast. His party, however, has no fear. They all get furious that the hellhound upset Light. Naz gets ready to chop it into small pieces. Ellie asks for permission to wipe out the entire species of hellhounds from this world. And Yuki wonders if she could somehow find hell and push this monster directly into its deepest pits. Just their intense energy sends a monster whimpering back as it realizes how completely outmatched it is. Light, however, calms his party down. He regains his composure and slowly moves toward the monster, giving a pat. He knows that even if he gave the order jokingly, his legendary summons would actually erase the entire race from existence. He then turns toward them and says they need to move toward the surface because they're going to begin their revenge plan today. Back on the surface, the beast folk bow down to the furry who was part of the party that betrayed Light and left him for dead. He seems to have become a local celebrity, with people literally begging him to date their sisters. He walks alongside his cronies like a total boss when he notices a human child searching through garbage trying to find anything to eat. The furry is a huge racist though, and for no reason at all decides to throw the kid away, telling him to run off and never be seen in this area again if he values his life. The other beast folk cheer for him like idiots, but the cheering dies down when he enters the tavern. He picks the best seat and tells his cronies to order as much food as they want since he's made tons of money that he needs to spend. While humans are starving outside, these furries get huge trays loaded with meat skewers. They all praise him for becoming an idol for all beast folk. Even though he himself was born in the gutters and rose from the slums to become a leader everyone wants to follow, he tells them brazenly that it's not easy to become like him, since he's mastered the art of persuasion and beast folk are naturally born followers. He just needs to exploit that properly, and then he can live like a king. He says the most important part is sorting out jobs and deciding which ones are profitable and which ones require too much effort for not enough money and power. One of the idiot furries asks him if the job he handled 3 years ago with the Concorder Tribes Party was a profitable one. Another furry scolds him for asking questions. The wolf beast tells him that unfortunately, the Federation that hired them made them swear to secrecy, so they can't really share any information about that. He remembers how that was the easiest and best paying job he ever accepted, since all he had to do was kill one useless little human kid. And now he's rich and famous. It does bother him, though, that he never figured out where the portal led to, but he doesn't think there's even the slightest chance Light could have survived it. He wonders what exactly this maestro thing was that the Federation was so desperate to find, but he feels a shiver run down his spine, which tells him digging deeper into this matter could be dangerous. His thoughts are interrupted by a beautiful girl, who turns out to be May. She interrupts them and asks if they can talk. She asks if he's Geru, the leader of the beast folk, and he takes a sip from his glass before nodding. May lies to him, saying she was a maid of Master Light, who belongs to a family of noble descent. Geru is shocked to hear that Light was a member of nobility, and wonders if it would have been more profitable to keep him alive. May continues lying, saying she's been searching for Light for the past 3 years, and all the information has led her to this country where he was last seen with a new party. Geru replies that he was a member of that party, and Light was indeed with them. This makes May's eyes well up with tears as she lies that she heard Light died in the dungeons and was never seen again. Geru nods, confirming it's the truth. He says Light met an unfortunate end and died. May asks if he could take her to that location, since it would bring her some peace to find the place where Light was last alive. Geru rudely asks what's in it for him. To his surprise, May puts down a bag with 3 solid gold bars in it. His cronies are shocked and speechless, but Geru controls his expression as he wonders if this is some kind of trap or if this girl really just wanted an escort into the dungeons. He decides to go with it, though, since he believes one single human girl can't even touch him, let alone pose a threat. Geru finally takes her to the dungeons with all his cronies as escorts. After several hours of walking, he asks May if she's okay. May looks exhausted but smiles, saying she can still walk. Geru thinks about how all these amazing jobs seem to fall into his lap. He plans to take all the gold from her and do terrible things to her on top of Light's grave. Finally, they enter the cavern where Light was abandoned and left for dead. Geru tells May this is where Light met with an accident. He lies that a group of monsters ambushed them, and Light never got the chance to run to safety. He claims Light was slashed to pieces and then got caught in a teleport trap, after which he was never seen again. May falls to her knees crying while Geru thinks about how pathetic these humans are for not even being able to sense when they're in danger. His cronies start taking their positions, blocking the only exit. He continues heartlessly lying about how he tried to save Light, but wasn't able to. Just when he's getting ready to attack, May's voice changes. She says that only the most evil creatures on Earth can mislead a pure-hearted person like Light, bring him into a grimy dungeon, and then betray him. She looks around, knowing that if she'd come into Light's service a bit earlier, he would never have been kicked, shot in the leg with an arrow, and beaten within an inch of his life. Geru immediately feels threatened and jumps back, wondering how the hell this woman knows about all this. His cronies look confused since they don't know the full story. But Geru knows that the only people who could know what happened are the 12 members of his party and some of the nation's elite leaders. He demands to know who she's working for, asking if she's a spy sent by an enemy tribe. She scoffs at him, saying she only works for Light and now he'll face her wrath. Just the energy erupting from her is enough to scare him, which surprises even himself. He reminds himself that she's just an inferior human who's good for nothing, but she sends chills down his spine just by looking at him. He realizes this isn't a joke, as his instincts tell him he'll die if he fights her. Before May can finish them off, though, Light's voice comes out of a dark corner. He tells May to calm down since he'll deal with Geru all by himself. Geru refuses to believe the voice he's hearing, but Light finally reveals himself, greeting Geru as if they were long-lost friends. He says he's here to pay him back for what he did 3 years ago. Geru immediately seems to gain his confidence back. He laughs, claiming he never thought he'd see Light again. He mocks him, saying a level 15 puny human can do nothing against a level 150 raid boss like himself. He laughs as he tells Light he has no idea how the hell he survived, but now he can kill him with his own hands and bring his body as proof. Light lets out a sigh, asking if Geru isn't even curious about who May is and how strong she is. Geru admits he has no idea how strong his little maid is, but he's absolutely sure puny humans could never compare to beast folk like them. He boasts that all his cronies are above level 130, and they'll simply steamroll through them. With that, he gives a command to attack. Two of his underlings immediately dash toward Light, ready to end his life. But within the blink of an eye, May appears in front of them. Their heads fall to the ground in one place while their lifeless bodies drop to the floor. She warns that anyone who tries to threaten Light will lose their head. But Light tells her back off and simply block all the exits since he wants to get involved in the fun as well. Garu's boys seem to be losing morale as they can't believe what they just saw. But Garu tries to steady them, claiming it was just a cheap trick she used and nothing else. Light asks if he still truly thinks humans are inferior to them. He asks if Garu has ever considered that maybe the human race is the strongest among all races. Garu laughs at this, flexing his level. But Light replies that level is just a number and has nothing to do with how strong someone can be. Garu has heard enough though. Alongside all his cronies, he lunges in for an attack. But to his surprise, Light stands there still as water before suddenly exploding into a counterattack, blocking and hitting every single attacker, knocking them down and leaving them out of breath. Light walks up to Garu and asks if he still thinks humans are weaker. But Garu can't accept this humiliation. He pushes through the pain and jumps up once again, claiming there's no way any human can match him. With that, he rips out a magic crystal from his pocket and smashes it on the floor, summoning his familiar, which turns out to be a level 500 wolf monster. Light asks if that's all he could bring out, but Garu thinks Light is just too stunned and scared to respond properly. He tells Light to start begging for his life, but Light simply stands there, telling him to attack and promising not to move a single inch from where he's standing. Garu gets furious and orders his beast to fire a blast at Light so concentrated it could wipe out an entire city. But as the dust clears, his jaw drops to the floor. He sees Light standing still, just like he said he would, without a single scratch on his body. Light mocks him for giving his attack such a fancy name, when all it did was kick up dust for no reason. Garu is left speechless while his cronies start wetting themselves in fear. Light says now he's going to attack, and decides to pull out a card as if he were in a card game. He releases a level 9000 ultra-rare card, the Primal Wolf God, which appears behind him all shiny and translucent, leaving the furry shocked beyond belief. With that, Light tells the Wolf God to kill Garu's familiar, but instead of firing a super strong blast at them, all the Wolf God does is let out a soft breath. The power within that breath crystallizes Garu's wolf and shatters it to pieces right in front of him, while Garu stands there helpless. He finally loses it. He can't believe his level 500 wolf monster got demolished within a second, but Light says he could have dealt with the monster himself if he wanted to as well. To prove that, he reveals his true level, which turns out to be maxed at 99.99. Garu stammers and shakes as he says this can't be possible since humans max out at level 100. And if Light was really the same human from back then, he would have grown up a bit during this time. Light reveals he's using an age ring to stop his physical growth because he wants to remember himself and the day he got betrayed by the worst scum on earth. Garu realizes he's completely done for and has absolutely zero chance of ever defeating the monster Light has become. He knows he's dead meat, so he does what any coward would do and throws down his weapons. He apologizes to Light for what he did, claiming he was forced to do it because of the Federation. He says even today he had no intentions to harm anyone and was going to tell the truth, but his cronies made this plan all on their own and dragged him into it. His underlings can't believe this is the same person who was showing off his skills and strength just this morning. He bows his head down and begs for forgiveness. He even agrees to be Light's personal pet if Light wants. Light, however, doesn't care. He simply asks what exactly is a maestro, and why is the government so desperate to find one. Garu honestly replies that he has no idea, and the government simply told him it was probably going to be a human. Light then asks why they decided to kill him once they thought he wasn't the maestro. Garu immediately bows down, claiming he seriously has no idea, and they just got the order to do it. Light turns his attention toward the cronies and asks if they have any information to save their own skin. The underlings all start claiming they have the information Light wants, but May uses her special eye ability to see through their lies. She cuts them down to pieces, spilling blood everywhere as she declares that anyone who lies in front of Light will die at her hands. Light then turns toward Garou once again and asks if he has any chance of winning if he went to the surface and started a war. Garou honestly replies that Light is extremely strong and could take on entire nations alone. But once the nations band together with all the weapons they're collecting, then he might have a hard time dealing with everything, since he's only one man with a maid. Light smiles and says he wants to show him something. He uses teleportation magic to transport them to his own throne room. Garou is shocked to the point of becoming mentally unstable as he sees the army Light has built up. The lowest ranking member is level 1500, with 4 level 9,999 maids and countless others ranging from level 6,000 to level 9,000. Garou is unable to speak as a tear drops from his face. He realizes Light could wipe out the entire planet in the blink of an eye, which basically makes him a god. He wonders what will happen once the war begins. After a couple of months, Light finally makes it out of the dark dungeons with his party. He decides to visit his old village because he wants to show his family that he's become strong enough to protect them forever. When he gets there, his heart drops. Instead of the happy reunion he imagined, he sees total destruction. The entire village has been wiped out. He can't believe what he's seeing and runs forward, eventually collapsing to the ground, completely devastated. May and the others comfort him and swear they'll get revenge on whoever did this. The one tiny bit of hope Light has is that while searching through the village, they didn't find his family's bodies among all the other dead villagers. So there's still a chance his family escaped and might be hiding somewhere in the country. A few weeks go by, and Light decides to go back to the destroyed village again. This time, he wants to look at everything with a clear head. Last time he was so emotionally wrecked that he might have missed important clues about what happened to his family. This time, he brings along an armored knight named Gold and a gray-haired assassin named Nem. Seeing the village again fills him with dread, but he keeps himself together. With his companions' help, they create graves for all the dead villagers. As he places flowers on the graves, he realizes this must have been done by a party of adventurers from another race. While he's lost in thought, Gold starts complaining that they need to get moving soon or they'll have to sleep outside tonight. Nem gets angry at him, saying that Light is mourning and they should give him all the time he needs. Gold explains that he'd go to the top of the highest ice-covered mountains or the deepest depths of hell for Light, but he also knows they need to find a safe, comfortable place for Light to rest while he's grieving. Nem can't really argue with that logic. This little argument actually cheers Light up a bit. He smiles and stands up, telling them to relax because he's feeling okay. He says they'll find somewhere to stay soon, but first they need to gather more information. They already know their forces are strong enough to take on the entire world. But Light thinks they should be careful and not rush into an all-out war. Gold agrees, saying you need to know your enemy as well as you know yourself if you want to win a war cleanly. Light agrees and adds that they should figure out the strengths of all the different nations first. He also suspects that the attack on his village might be connected to the fact that he could be a potential maestro. The idea that the secret society that once sentenced him to death would go so far as to kill everyone in his village makes him furious. He promises to burn the entire world down just to eliminate all the evil from it. Nem is shocked by the dark energy coming from Light. Gold calms him down, reminding him to keep his anger under control while they're in the city, because they don't want to cause a massacre yet. This brings Light back to reality. He calms himself down and pulls out an ugly-looking, edgy little mask. As they prepare to enter the city, they start flying toward the city of Dogas. On the way there, Nem asks Light about their plans once they're inside. Light explains that they need to keep a low profile at first so the Concord of 12 doesn't get suspicious. They need to register at the Adventurers Guild and then increase their party's rank as much as possible. The higher their party rank, the more information they'll be able to get from people who either want their help or want to gain their favor and protection. Gold says the plan is great, but asks if they should walk from here on out. Otherwise, they'll stand out like a sore thumb. Light agrees, and they land and continue on foot. While walking through the forest, they hear shouting up ahead. They discover a bunch of dwarves have surrounded a man and his daughter and are about to rob them. The dwarves notice Gold's shiny armor and tell them to come out in the open. Light finally gives his servants the order to deal with these little troublemakers. Nem makes quick work of the dwarves, who end up shocked and tied together in the middle of the forest. As a thank you, the man offers him a ride to the city of Dogas. The little girl seems really impressed because she's never heard of a human beating a dwarf in combat. The man agrees that it's very rare to find humans that strong. He asks Light if they're a famous party of adventurers, but Light honestly tells him they're not even registered yet, which actually surprises the man. Still, he says Light has come to the right place if he wants to start a new party. The city of Dogas is built on the border of the Dwarf Kingdom, connecting both the human and elven kingdoms. This creates a huge variety of dungeons and adventures in the area, which leads to lots of disputes, but also lots of trade. It's pretty popular with humans, but since humans often face discrimination in many places, he runs it in where people of all races are treated with equal respect. Light and his party get off the car at the town entrance and thank the man, who tells them to call him Colonel and invites them to his inn if they decide to stay the night. Once inside the city, they take in all the activity and excitement. There are shops on every corner selling weapons and armor, while forges light up the streets with dwarves making swords and shields inside. After enjoying the sights, they head to the Adventurers Guild. They enter a big hall filled with people crowded around quest boards. Light notices there are quite a few human adventurers here too, but the racism still exists even here, as they move aside for adventurers of other races. For now, Light decides to ignore it and goes straight to the registration desk, where they're given their rank. Nem gets furious and tells a woman at the desk that she needs to fix her attitude or someone else will fix it for her. She tells the receptionist to recheck the rank because Light is incredibly strong and deserves to be S rank at the very least. The receptionist doesn't really care though, and tells her to back her smelly human self away and accept the rank they were given. Before Nem can say anything else, Light stops her and apologizes to the receptionist, taking the rank without complaint and walking out. Once outside, Nem starts apologizing to Light because she thinks she messed everything up, but Light tells her to calm down and takes his party to Colonel's inn. Colonel is happy to see them again and asks what he can do for them. Light says he has an unusual request and asks to rent out the entire upper floor of the inn for a whole month. During that time, no one except him and his party are allowed up there, not even the inn staff. He apologizes in advance for any problems this might cause, but says it's important. He then pulls out a bag filled with gold coins and hands it over as payment. Colonel refuses it, saying he can never take money from someone who saved his life. But Light insists, and Colonel finally backs down and accepts the payment. Once on the upper floor, Light sets up different magical barriers to make sure they'll be protected from prying eyes. He takes off his mask and cloak and relaxes. Nem tells Light again that he should have stayed back and let her and Gold Handle gathering all the information he wanted. Even though Light is really strong, they can never be too careful. This really triggers Light. He gets up from his seat, asking if Nem wants to deny him his revenge and stop him from bringing the people who destroyed his village and family to justice. That same aura of death and destruction returns, scaring Nem, who immediately starts groveling on the ground, begging for forgiveness and saying she never meant to offend him. Light finally calms down and apologizes to Nem because he knows she just wants him to be safe. The next morning, they finally get ready to enter the dungeons. They dress up for the day and get in a long line leading to the dungeon's front gates. While standing in line, 3 hooded figures cut in front of a group of young human adventurers. Just by how confidently they cut the line, Light already knows these adventurers belong to another race. While every other human party is scared, Light speaks up and tells the hooded men to get back in line like everyone else. One of the hooded guys turns back in anger and shock, surprised a human dared to speak to him. Light tells him that if he belongs to a noble family, he probably doesn't want to create a scene. But the hooded guy seems to have serious anger issues and gets ready to draw his weapon. However, another guy in his party stops him, and they eventually remove themselves from the line. But as he's leaving, the hooded man tells Light that this isn't over yet. All the humans cheer for Light, saying they would never have the guts to speak up to the other races. The young adventurers in front of him ask why they haven't brought any supplies. According to them, this dungeon is really huge and it might take several days to clear it. That's why adventurers always bring supplies so they can camp at night. Soon they enter the dungeon and find themselves in a completely new world filled with its own creatures and monsters. Once Light is sure no one is around to see them, he uses his concealment magic and then uses flight magic so they can fly through the dungeons without anyone noticing them. Meanwhile, in the middle of the jungle, the hooded guy removes his cloak. Still angry about how a mere human disrespected him, he pulls out the huge sword from his back, shouting that his name is Kaido, the youngest elf to ever join the ranks of the elite White Knights, and he has the blood of the master running through his veins. He destroys all the orcs in his rage, stabbing their heads. His companion, a dark elf named Yen, tells him to calm down. Kaido is still mad, though, because he's unable to increase his level, which seems to be capped at 1500. Yen tells him that any normal elf is usually capped at level 700. But Kaido isn't satisfied with that and promises himself that he'll surpass this level no matter what. Back on the third floor, Light and his party have already cleared this floor as well and decide to call it a day. They collect all the magic gems as proof of clearing the level. Once they have everything, they head back to the surface. Taking in the beauty of this dungeon, they realize that without the ability to fly, it would have taken a lot of time just to go from one floor to another. But thanks to their skills, they can clear multiple floors in a single day. On their way back, they notice the young adventurers fighting against a group of goblins. Light decides to watch as they manage to kill them all with good teamwork. But Light immediately flies down and kills a bush snake that was creeping up on the mage girl in the back. Light tells the young adventurers that they shouldn't get too focused on the enemy in front of them and should always be aware of their surroundings. The young guys thank him for his help. Suddenly, a bunch of wolves emerge from the forest. The adventurers get scared and want to run away. But to their confusion, the wolves don't attack. They just run away. All their questions are answered when a huge mantis emerges from the forest, ready to destroy anything in front of it. And only Light stands between the monster and the lives of these young adventurers. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.